My next guest takes on Lauren Murphy at UFC Fight Night 131 on June 1st. It is Sijara Eubanks joining me here on the program. Sijara, how are you?
I'm fantastic, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, and I got to mention to our audience, this is pretty cool. We are live on location on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. How's Atlantic City treating you?
It's good. It's still, I got my hat on. It's still a little chilly, but I love the water. You know, I've been in Jersey for a little while. I don't get to come out to Atlantic City too often, but I'm out here supporting my team and getting some training in. So it's been good.
Excellent. Let's talk about this card you're on. You're making your debut on the UFC Utica card. How excited were you when you found out you'd be on this card, as it's just a short drive from where you trained?
Oh, man, fantastic. Because, you know, one of the best things about fighting is getting a chance to travel. But every now and again, when you're close enough for more friends and family to come out, just take a drive instead of, you know, checking bags and getting on the plane and stuff like that. It was great. You know, I found out it was in New York State, up in Utica. I was pumped. It's semi-hometown for me, so I'm good. I'm an East Coast girl through and through, so I was real pumped about that.
How long is the drive for you?
I think when I checked it, from New York City, it's about 5 hours.
Oh, wow, yeah. It is that far. I guess New York's pretty big then. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, New York State's pretty huge. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. My bad geography up here in Canada. But are you expecting a lot of people coming out? I imagine once they found out the news, people are probably wanting to come see you fight.
Yeah, I hope so. I definitely got a lot of family that wants to come because I was born and raised in Springfield, Massachusetts, so it's like a 4-hour trip for them, like going from east over west into New York. And I got all my new friends and family here in Jersey, so a lot of people have been, saying that they're going to come up and support. So, you know, the more the merrier. I'm always down to have, you know, people live at my fights. It's fun.
And I know you're supposed to make your debut back in December, and I know things didn't go your way in that one as far as the weight cut goes. That fight was supposed to be against Nico Montano. I think the question everyone wants to know, what are you sort of doing differently for this weight cut heading into your debut here?
Man, everything's different, you know. Coming into the Ultimate Fighter house, you know, I was walking around at like 55 because I was fighting at 35. So the cuts were pretty tough, and I didn't get a chance to really get my walk around down between the show and in December when I was supposed to fight Nico. So I went out to the PI, and I'm doing everything different. You know, I'm running a lot more. My conditioning and my cardio, there's a lot of focus on that. My nutrition has been totally revamped. After I met with Clint and all the guys over at UFC PI, we did a lot of testing on my body to see how I burn calories and how my body works. And so we learned a lot about my body, and we started making some changes. And I feel great, man. I feel fantastic. I'm smaller now than I was fight week in December. So so I'm already ahead of the game. So I feel great. I love it. And you know, as an athlete, you know, I kind of had thought at 35, you know, I was good. But now that I'm walking around a little smaller, I feel leaner. I feel like my conditioning's got a little better, and I feel faster. So it's been great.
And I know one of the things you did after the show as well is you got a really good manager in Ali Abdelaziz. How much of a help has he been, especially through the whole process in December where, you know, things didn't go your way? I'm sure he's been there for you and in your corner ever since then.
Oh, yeah, Ali's been wonderful, man. You know, it's sad sometimes because just recently I was online and I saw, you know, some people talk some smack to Ali. He's really good to all his fighters, and that's something I can really attest to. I've been in MMA for a little while, and I've seen how management can be. And Ali's not that kind of guy. He took good care of me leading up to the fight in December. He's taken good care of me since. He's helped me out when I've gone out to Vegas, and he's been a support in my corner from beginning to end. And that's a testament, you know. You don't want a manager that just pops up when you're doing well. You want a manager that's going to take care of you through the good and the bad. So, you know, big shout out to Ali, man. He's the best. I think he's the best in the game.
No, and I hear that from all of his fighters. And, you know, one of the things I really like, too, is he's not just worried about your fight career. He's also worried about, you know, the personal life, your finances. Like, was that something you didn't expect when you signed on with him, just him, you know, keeping tabs on family life and everything else?
Yeah, I didn't expect that, no. And when he did, I was really surprised. And I was like, I can see now why people go out on a limb and say how good Ali is to them. You know, he asks about my baby. He asks how my wife's doing. He's always real good about checking in. He opens up, you know, and also Vegas, he was like, you know, he gave me a car to drive, you know.
Nice.
He's always there. I was taking Ubers. He was like, here, I got an extra car here. One of his wife's car or something. He let me drive something like that. So, I mean, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what else? Just one more thing on him. One of the cool things is that, he has so many fighters on the roster, but I know he still calls, all of his clients, often. I know I was talking to Ray Borg. He was saying, like, I kind of feel bad because, Ali calls me a lot. I don't have much to say, but is that kind of interesting, too, that he's just able to make so much time with the roster he has?
Yo, I don't know how he does it, for real. Because every time I turn around, I'm like, you're managed by Ali, too? I don't know how he does it. And sometimes I'll text him, and I fully expect him to take his time. He always gets right back to me. He reaches out to me. He's got time to FaceTime. And, like, it's funny. I'll see him, I'll FaceTime him, and then I'll look over, and he'll be, like, he'll be in Vegas, and he'll be in Arizona, and then he'll be, like, he's in Atlantic City. Like, it's hard to keep track of. I don't know how he does it, but that's hard work for you. That's hard work and dedication, so. Yeah,
no, I agree with that. Let's talk about Lauren Murphy. First off, how excited were you to fight her? Because I know there was a little bit of, I don't want to say beef, but, there was that whole situation with her trying to cut weight. Were you happy to get her as an opponent?
Yeah, I kind of figured the way things went on December 1st, once they rearranged the card after I missed, I had a gut feeling I was going to get Lauren. I was watching her fight Barb. I actually went to the fights that night, and it was a close fight, and I kind of was like, man, I'm going to get Lauren, watch. As soon as her hand was raised, I just kind of had a gut feeling. So, really, I'd have taken anybody because I'm kind of in a position where I got to prove that I can make the weight and I can prove that my ranking is deserved and that I'm one of the best fighters in the flyweight division. So I kind of was down for whoever. And, they kind of had her up there behind me. She won her fight on December 1st. The division's still kind of all over the place. So when they gave me her name, I said, yes, of course, And there's no really beef, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun that we had that exchange, and now we get to fight. So,
yeah, no, it's awesome. How do you feel like you match up against her?
I think I match up really well. I'm really excited about this fight. I think, the good thing about the fact that I haven't, really been able to make my debut yet in the UFC is that I've gotten to spend a lot more time with my new team and my new coaches, and I think my striking is definitely improved, and I think that that's going to match up well with Lauren. I think my grappling matches up well, my movement, I just think me versus Lauren is going to be a good night for me.
And let's talk about your training camp. I know one of the people you were training with, I don't know if she's still there, is Deanna Bennett. She was raving about you when I spoke to her and how cool it was that you guys got to train after the show. How cool is it to have her around the gym?
Awesome. Actually, she's over there somewhere.
She is?
Her.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
We just finished training. She just went to go sit down. We just went to go grab some post-training lunch, actually. So, working with Deanna is it's really been great because we got a chance to really grow since the show. People talk about, when I went into the Ultimate Fighter, I didn't think I was going to make any friends. I didn't think I was going to give two craps about anybody in that house once it was over. So she came out to Jersey, and it's been nice to have a training partner and a friend that's there all the time. Sometimes as a female, when you're on a team that there's not a lot of other females, it's hard to find a consistent training partner. And me and Deanna can provide that for each other. So that's a bonus in my book,
Awesome. Do you still keep in touch with anyone else from the show at all?
Not really. I text Shauna Dobson a little bit.
I was going to bring her name up because I know she still talks about you a lot.
Yeah, the Rose Room. I keep in touch with the Rose Room. When I went out to Vegas, I caught up with Emily a little bit. But other than that, I text Ariel and Shauna sometimes. I'm a bad texter though, so that's for all my friends from everywhere. I'm a bad texter. I'm not great at initiating contact. Whenever anybody hits me, I'm like, oh hey. But yeah, I keep in touch with Shauna. I know she just fought, so I was, rooting for her there. And, I'm rooting for Ariel to keep doing her thing and try to get her way back into the big show. So, but that's it, the Rose Room. But if you guys saw the show, the four of us, they didn't really push the Rose Room on the final edit. But in the house, me, Deanna, Ariel, and Shauna were like all best buds. So it was cool.
That's awesome. How do you see this fight playing out coming up here on June 1st?
A finish. I'm gonna finish Lauren. That's my goal. Obviously my goal is to fight my very best. All 15 minutes. And I believe that when I do what I'm supposed to do and I execute my game plan, I don't see how she gets out of the 15 minutes. But I'm looking forward to getting my hand raised and putting on a show. I really do want to display my skills, my skill set. I want to let people know that a lot of people, a lot of fans, more so than anything, kind of gave us all in the TUF house a little flack, like those weren't the best flyweights you guys could find. And I am the best flyweight in the world, and I'm gonna prove that one day. I'm gonna get that belt around my waist, and I think Lauren Murphy is a good matchup for me to prove that to myself and to the rest of the world.
Now, has the UFC told you anything about the ramifications of this fight? Because you were so close to winning the title. You had the fight in the finals. I imagine you're not that far off from a title shot, even with missing weight.
I would hope so. I don't think that there's too much that they can say. I beat Lauren. I think that puts me right up there. Obviously, in the media and what you read and from what I've heard, they're trying to match up Nico and Valentina. So, if that happens, that happens. My time. It'll come. My time will come for my title shot again. I think beating Lauren definitely keeps me in the heat and right up at the top. I hope that I can get the winner of Valentina Nico if that matchup comes through. But if not, I'm gonna just keep fighting, keep finishing girls until I get my shot back.
Yeah, no, I agree. You talk a little bit about some of the negative comments and things like that. How have you been able to deal with some of the feedback on social media, especially when you missed weight? Like it's MMA fans can be jerks. I mean, let's be honest here sometimes.
Yeah, they're trolls. We live in a society of trolls, man. Trolls are trolls. I get trolled all the time. Honestly, I had never been on that bad end of trolling. Like I was literally in the hospital bed, and after I made my post, I was like, hey, it's like, hey, everybody. But that's kind of part of the game, like I kind of knew coming into as the UFC grew. When I first started fighting, the highest you could do as a woman in sports was a Strikeforce belt, which was respectable, and as the sport grows, and considering the kind of society we're in, people get behind their phones or behind their keyboards and they just kind of say whatever, and it's crazy. So I kind of, at first it was like, whoa, I never had that, but it didn't bother me too much. People will talk, and really, people say it all the time, whether they talk good or they talk bad. If they're talking about you, they're talking about you. So I've been trying to take that into consideration, and I'm surrounded by guys that have experience. I'm on the same floor with Frankie Edgar, Edson Barbosa, Eddie Alvarez. Eddie told us in the house, man, he was like, when I fought Conor, you should have seen the crap that these people will say some nasty stuff to you. And if you're going to survive in this game, you got to learn how to have tough skin and ignore that kind of stuff. So I think it comes with confidence. If you believe in yourself and you're a good person, don't matter what nobody say. So trolls are trolls.
Someone who got a lot of online backlash, obviously, was Ronda Rousey when she fought in the UFC, and since then she's gone over to professional wrestling. Are you paying attention to that at all? Is that anything that interests you? Because it seems like a lot of people are still trying to keep tabs on her in the wrestling world.
No, and no disrespect to Ronda. I never watched wrestling. I didn't really care. It kind of surprises me that, because I pay attention. I go on MMA websites and I read articles and pay attention to the news, and it still kind of surprises me how much. Like someone was like I remember scrolling past Instagram, was like, she won her WWE debut, and I remember looking like, that's scripted, right?
Right, yeah.
Being like, I don't know much about wrestling, but she probably, like, everyone's like, congratulations, and I was like, on her performance. But I mean, no knock. I mean, a lot of those fans cross over. So if you're a WWE fan and an MMA fan and it crosses over and you're on the business side of things and you want, and it's money, as a business owner, I can understand scooping up fans and scooping up, attention from wherever you can. But I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. The only reason I know Ronda won her things because everyone talks about it. Because otherwise,
right, it's everywhere. You can't avoid it. Yeah.
Otherwise, I have no clue when the next WrestleMania. I have no clue. I have no idea. I don't pay attention to wrestling.
Did you never watch? You never watched it growing up?
My brother did. My younger brother did. He'll probably, hopefully, he's not somewhere because he's a grown man now. So I hope I don't embarrass him. But my little brother loved The Rock when he was when he used to fight. So I used to watch my brother watching wrestling, and I guess The Rock was always fighting Triple H, and my brother would do like the people's elbow. So there was a small time frame in my life where wrestling was on the TV in the house. But that's about it. I never really got into it. But when I was little and my brother would watch it, I was probably young too. I was like 10 or 11. I was like, they're cheating though. They're cheating. And so like the legit competitor in me was like, he tapped. Like I was like looking at it like a real sport. And my brother was like, no, I was like, the guy ran out and got a chair. It's cheating. So I never could get into it.
Gotcha. Last question for you here. Obviously, you got a lot going on. The training camp. You're a mom. You got a lot of stuff happening. What do you like doing on your downtime when you get that little bit of free time? Are you watching any Netflix or anything like that?
Yeah. I watch a little bit of TV. I like to read. In fight camp, I have, funny thing is fight camp, I have more downtime because I come down to South Jersey. I live in the city with my family. So when I'm in fight camp, I'm down in Jersey. In between camp, I got hours to kind of chill between practices. So I kind of chill, film study, try to work on my mental game and read and stuff like that. But when I'm home and I'm in the city, I really like to spend time. I'm new to New York, so everything in New York is fun to me. So when I'm kind of off camp and I have my free time, I just like to go exploring. My partner, she grew up in New York, so I'm always like, "What's new today?" She was like, "We'll go to the Brooklyn Bridge, or we'll go to Central Park, or we'll go down to World Trade Center." So, man, I feel like I don't know how many years I'm going to be in New York before I stop finding fun things to do in New York. So I literally just be like, "Let's go somewhere in New York that's new and fun." So that's what I do.
And this is going to be an awesome fight. It's coming up here June 1st. It's UFC Fight Night 131. Sijara, it was great getting a chance to talk to you. I appreciate the time. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
All right, awesome. You guys can find me Sarge in Charge, SARJ, the letter in Charge. That's on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm new to Twitter, so make sure you guys follow me because I'm trying to get my Twitter following up. And no sponsors yet, so if you got something for me, make sure y'all come holler at me. I'll wear your gear and shout y'all out. And my daughter's birthday is this Wednesday, April 24th. She's going to be 1 year old. So that's about the only shout out I give to my baby girl. She's going to be 1 year old.